So in this lesson, we're going to be talking about converging lenses, sometimes called convex lenses. And this is where, very similar to the mirrors, but we're going to be using refraction instead of reflection for our analysis. So we're going to look at the lens equation, how it relates to the mirror equation, what are the sign conventions, and how do we use it to analyze situations when it comes to creating images for lenses. All right, so now we're going to be looking at lenses which uses the refraction. So it's similar to a converging mirror. The converging lens has a similar behavior, and lenses uses refraction instead of reflection. And let me kind of show you a little bit about the shape of this thing here. Actually, let me see if I have a picture here. Okay, we'll do the ray diagrams next. But basically, it's a glass or plastic or some material that's something that's shaped like this, and the whole idea is that the light will head towards it, right, like this. And because it's curved, so again, we're going to have a similar case where this is the principal axis, right? That's the center of the lens. And there's going to be something called a focal point on either side of them. And the reason it does this, by the way, is if you were to look at the normal vector, like the normal line here, it's gonna bend because this is a higher index of refraction compared to like the air around it. It's gonna bend more towards the normal. So we look at this angle, and that angle is gonna be smaller. So it's gonna bend like this, like have a smaller angle. And then when it exits this area here, right, it's gonna bend away from the normal, like this, almost at the same, like, yeah, it's gonna bend away from the normal. So it's gonna have a larger angle. Like this, this a little bit, and so what's going to happen is we'll call that the focal point, is that it's shaped in such a way that all the light rays that will bend towards the focal point. Now we make a couple of assumptions. You don't have to draw the interior of the wave diagram. I mean, you should know how that works, but we make a thin lens approximation that we assume is pretty thin, that basically any ray parallel to that is going to bend towards the focal length. So the whole idea is we're using the shape of it to change that surface alongside with the index of refraction to force light rays to bend towards a focal length. So that's how the ray diagrams are going to work. So if we have a converging lens here, okay, here are the rules for drawing our ray diagrams. Any light that goes parallel to the principal axis, like this one here, will bend towards the focal point. So the focal point will be on the opposite side here. So rather than reflect back like a mirror would, this is going to be the focal point. It's going to bend towards the focal point. So this line here, parallel to the axis, bends towards the focal point. Light rays that go through the center of the lens will actually go unchanged, okay? Like in a mirror, right, it reflected backwards, but here it's just going to pass through without any change in the angle. Because again, it's based on the shape. It's not like any curved piece of glass is going to do this, have a focal point. We've shaped the curve in such a way so the light rays are going to bend following these rules. And any light rays that go through the focal point on this side will then go parallel, okay? And where the three rays intersect, you're only going to draw two of them. Probably two is the minimum you need to draw, just like with mirrors. But wherever the three intersect is where the object is going to be. So very, very similar to how we do mirrors. Just we're going to do lenses. Light is going to pass through onto the other side rather than reflect backwards like a mirror. Okay, so let's take a look at the mirror and lens equation. We can still use the exact same equation, which is nice. You don't have to memorize a bunch of equations. So what's the difference here? We still say SO is positive. Like everything else is the same like we did with the mirrors. The only difference here is now when we do focal length, it is positive for converging lenses as well. Okay? And so positive will be a real image, negative will be a virtual image. Now, real images on this case, so just a caveat, real images will be on the opposite side of where the object is. And that's because the light is actually not being reflected back. It's actually passing through. So this one here is a real image on the other side here. Whereas when we had the converging mirror, the real images were on the same side. So that's why we emphasize that positive just means a real image. Doesn't mean same side, opposite side, whatever. It just means positive means a real image. And that way we don't have to like mess with the equation. So it's important you memorize it. Positive doesn't mean a specific side. because it means two different things, whether it's a mirror or a lens. Because mirror, the real images will be on the same side as the object because the light bounces. Whereas in a lens, the real image will be on the other side of the lens because that's where the light actually passes through. Okay, so just be careful. Positive means real image, negative means virtual image, and your ray diagram will tell you which side the real image is located. Okay, so let's go through an example here. We have a thin converging lens of focal length 10 centimeters. Is used as a simple magnifier to examine object O that is placed 6 centimeters from the lens. So the focal points are here and here. On the figure above, draw a ray diagram showing at least 2 incident rays in the position and size of the image formed. Okay, so we're going to have a light ray from the top that goes parallel. Okay, so it's going to go parallel here. Parallel there, and then it's going to then pass, it's going to go and pass through the focal point there. Okay, so that's the first ray. Second ray is any ray that goes through the center here is going to go unchanged. And then the third ray, optional, you don't need this third ray, is anything that's going to appear to come from the focal length. So in this case, because we're in front, we can't bend through the focal length, but you'd say anything that would like bend away from the focal length is then going to travel horizontally like this. Now you can notice there, we're not going to get a real image. It's not going to intersect over here. In fact, what we have to do is we would have to back trace. And again, when you have this on paper, and you do get paper for the AP exam for this kind of stuff, you will get to use a ruler if you need to. And where they intersect is where the image is located. So the image would be located here. Okay. Now this is a virtual image because just like we did with mirrors, it's not converging. The real light rays that are solid are not actually intersecting. We just look like it appears to come back. It appears to be formed over here. And so that's why it's a virtual image, because the light rays don't pass through the image. They only appear to. They appear to originate there. Okay, calculate the distance of the image from the center of the lens. Here, we're going to use our lens equation. Now, the focal length here is positive because it's a converging lens. So the focal length is 10 centimeters, and the object is located at 6 centimeters. So SO is 6 centimeters. Remember, that's always positive. So 1 over S is going to be 1 over F minus 1 over SO. That's 1 over 10 minus 1 over 6. You can use a calculator for this. 1 divided by 10 minus 1 divided by 6 is going to be negative 0.067. So then the SI is going to be 1 divided by that. And that's going to be negative 15 centimeters. Now, what's the distance? The distance is going to be 15 centimeters. So I was pretty close on my picture. It should have been more like over here. But I was just eyeballing those straight lines there. So about there. Okay. And that's that part there. Okay. The object is now moved 3 centimeters to the right as shown above. How does the height of the new image compare with that of the previous image? Okay. Let's look at how do we figure out so the magnification is the absolute value of SI over SO, right? So that's going to be 15 divided by, what's SO? SO is 6. So the magnification before was going to be, what is that, 2.5? Right, so this is 2.5 times bigger than that one. Now, if we move the image over here, we can use the mirror equation or the lens equation to actually figure it out, because we can say like, oh, 1 over SI is equal to 1 over F minus 1 over SO again. But now we're doing 3 centimeters to the right, so that's going to be at 9 centimeters. So this is going to be 1 over 10 minus 1 over 9, right? So 1 divided by 10 minus 1 divided by 9 is negative 0.0111. So the SI then is going to be 1 divided by that is going to be negative 90. That's going to be much bigger. So the magnification, right, is going to be negative 90 divided by 6, right? So now the magnification is going to be 15, right? So now it's going to be much larger. So it is larger. And just because of our lens equation is going to be 15 times bigger versus 2.5 times bigger there, like that. you found this video helpful, come check out our school community. It's got an amazing bunch of features. It's got extra videos, corrected videos, better than the ones that I have errors on YouTube. It's got multiple choice free response questions. I hold live Q&A sessions and go through more problems and and I answer students' questions, help with schoolwork, all kinds of things. If you want to check it out, look in the description below or check out the website and find us in the school community. You get a 7-day free trial to give it a shot, just to check it out, see what it's like, come join some calls, and honestly, come learn AP Physics 1 even faster with us.